Well, welcome everybody. My name is Liam Phillips, and this is it inaugural? Does that mean beginning? First of, hopefully many, a little program that I put together called No Problems, Only Possibilities. One of the reasons why I wanted to create this was because I see a lot of people, they take the Access tools and then later on, they don't seem to be able to apply them to their life, or, we get so bogged down in our reality and all those feelings and thoughts and stuff seem to be so real, and we step out of question and we go back into the mediocrity of this reality. And so one of my joys is being able to facilitate people to be using these tools, and then as they start to use them more and more, they start to become these tools. They start to become the energies of creation, which are question, choice, possibility, and contribution. Now, the reason I love that is because I am a totally selfish bastard. Because when I am being that energy, when I am facilitating people, all of my own personal quote unquote problems are no longer there. There are only possibilities. And so I've made a commitment to myself to be on 24/7 and facilitate 24/7. So today is, I often start a foundation class off with looking at the first page of the foundation, which is the cover page. And it says Access Consciousness, empowering you to know that you know. Now, a lot of people actually read that as empowering people to know what they know. No, we want to empower you to know that you know. Because so much of our life, especially from our childhood onwards, has always been about disempowering you as a knowing being, disempowering you as a being. So I just tell you a quick little story. Is when we were going to Tenerife, when I was a kid, we were flying to Tenerife from England. We had to stop in Gran Canaria, make a connection, and then fly on to Tenerife. And we only had like half an hour to make the next flight. And so my parents were in this big long queue to find out where the gate was to go to the next flight. And I pulled on my dad's hand. I was about 10 years old at the time. And I said, I know where to go. And he looked down at me. He said, you don't know, you're only 10. Now, that was one of the points in my life where I actually brought the point of view that I was not a knowing being. So where in your life have you been told that you don't know? And everywhere where you've been told that you don't know, would you be willing to now turn that 180 degrees into what is it that I know? And what if you turned it another 180 degrees and another 180 degrees and another 180 degrees until you actually start to get out of the problem that you've made so significant? And the problem is not knowing. When, I've got a beautiful friend, her name's Monica Marta Gilliam, and she always says, and it used to get on my nerves. And then every time that she asks that question, it's sort of like, I have to look at what I know. Yeah. So every time that you, as an infinite being, say, I don't know, what are you creating? More knowing or less? Less, right? Because your point of view creates your reality. If you have a point of view that you don't know, if you have bought that point of view from your dad telling you that you don't know, from your mum, from your religious teacher, from whoever, then what you start to create is this lack of trust in you to make choices for you. And and it just proliferates from there on, and you start to cut off you, and you start to cut off your knowing. Your choices are reduced, and you often start to make the distractor implants of, say, like doubt and fear greater than you as a knowing being. Would a knowing being ever have fear? Would it ever have doubt in its reality? No. So why do you? Because you're not claiming, owning, and acknowledging that you know. And that's what I love about every page on any Access book, in any Access manual. There are a trillion, gazillion tools there if you're willing to look for it. So, Access consciousness, empowering you to know that you know. So everything that doesn't allow you to know that you know, would you now be willing to destroy and uncreate it all? And then we'll use the Access clearing statement, because this is a beginner's, it's not really a beginner's, it's for anyone. But if you don't know the Access clearing statement, it's good, bad, right, wrong, pop, popcorn, ice, short boys and beyonds. And you can go to www.theclearingstatement.com. Basically what it does, it takes, I love the pod pop part because it's short speak for point of creation and point of destruction. So the point of creation for me, not knowing, was when my dad said to me, "You're only 10, you don't know." And I bought that as real. That is the point of creation. And then everywhere from there on, every time that I've gone into making doubt or fear or not being able to make a choice or a decision, the valuable product, is where I have been destroying my knowing. So when we use that clearing statement, we go to that point of creation and all of the points where we've been destroying ourselves with that point of view, and we clear it out of existence. So everything that doesn't allow you to know that you know, can we now destroy and uncreate it all? Good and bad, right, wrong, pop, popcorn, iron, short boys and beyonds. So what else is possible, my beautiful friends? The thing is with knowing is you've all had this place. You've all had this time in your life where you just know. You just, you fall in love with someone and you just know. You just know that they're the person. You choose a job and you just know that you're going to get the job. We've all had this at some point somewhere in our life. So right now, just close your eyes for a few minutes and let's go to that point where you knew. Tap into your body, because the memory of that knowing is actually in every cell, in every molecule of your body. It's in all the space that surrounds every molecule in your body. Tap into that. And just ask your body to show you the energy of knowing, of a time where you just knew. There was no reason and justification for it. You just knew. And I'm sitting here with the sun on my face and it's so beautiful and warm and joyful. And let your body relax. Notice how when your body brings up that energy of knowing, that all the problems, quote unquote, start to dissipate. That's the joy of knowing. That's the peace of knowing. So from that peace of knowing, now let's explore all those places where you have locked into your body and I don't know. Every time that you've said that, every time that you've thought that, every time that you've doubted you, just bring that up. And notice how it's sort of like this blob. It's like a walnut sitting there amongst all this beautiful space that you be. all that knowing. And now bring that knowing to that warmer, that little crunchy, hard thing. Just bring more space to it, bring more energy to it, bring more consciousness to it, and allow the energy, the space, the consciousness, and you as an infinite being to that, and let it permeate through that nut. Yes, we all know that a nut is hard to crack sometimes, but just let it float through that nut. There. Cool. Now that you're inside the nut, expand the energy space and consciousness. And notice how it starts to dissipate with ease. Cool. So from that space, let's open our eyes. Let's step into our knowing today. Let's ask our bodies every 10, 15 or 20 minutes, maybe it's just once an hour for you. Let's make it easy. Yeah, let's make it fun. Go and get your iPhone, put a timer on it for 1 hour, and in an hour, ask this question. Body, show me the space of knowing. Okay? And then when the alarm goes off, ask that question to your body. Body, show me the space of knowing. Body, will you please show me the space of knowing? Okay? And then go off and do what you do for the rest of your day, except for don't forget to put your timer on again for another hour. And then when it goes off, that's your little call to step into your knowing. I'd love to hear your feedback on that. Yeah, you can send me an email. You all have my email address. It's liam@liamphillips.com. And you can, and I'd love to hear, because I've never used this tool before. This is just like it's just been bubbling up today. And you are my little experiments. So see what shows up today. If you, for the next hour, for the next however long you're awake for, every hour you ask that question of your body, body, will you please show me the space of knowing? Yeah. And if you need to, you can just close your eyes and then tap into your body, just like we did in that exercise a few minutes ago. I'm hoping that this is going to create some change for you. Love to hear your feedback, because I'm one of these people, if I don't get feedback, it's like, oh, I'm not doing a very good job. So please, will you give me some feedback? And, well, actually, I don't really care about the feedback. Get the feedback for you, get the feedback from your body, and start to acknowledge you as a knowing being, as an infinite being. And everything that doesn't allow that, can we now destroy and uncreate it all? Good and bad, right, wrong, pop, corn, iron, short, boys and beyonds. And every time you hear in your head, I don't know, ask you and your body, turn it 180 degrees and ask the question, what do I know that I'm pretending not to know, that if I allowed myself to know it, would allow all of this to change with total ease? And then everything that doesn't allow that, destroy and create it. Okay, guys, I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my day. I'm going to go and put my timer on and have a play with that tool myself. And we'll catch you next week. Yes?
Do you mind me giving you some feedback right now?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Just a little bit. Okay, so when you said that, it reminded me of something. I studied Spanish for a long, long time, right? And so I was looking on the back of the aspirin bottle, and I was reading it in Spanish. Mm-hmm. And I was understanding I knew what it meant, in Spanish. And I said, that's crazy. I can't do that. And then it stopped. But I was reading in Spanish, and I did know what it meant until I said that was crazy. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, thank you for that, Jewel. That's a jewel. Because that is a good example of your point of view creates your reality. When you say that's crazy, I can't do that, or I can't possibly know that, you cut off your knowing. And so everywhere where you have done that in any lifetime, where you've cut off your knowing in favor for the mediocrity of this reality where everything has to be logical, would you now be willing to destroy and uncreate it all? Good and bad, right, wrong, pop up.
Yes.
Yes, I've had similar experiences where when I was in India, in an ashram, I was talking with this German. He was talking to me in German, and I was nodding my head and everything, and I spoke to him in English, and he said, oh, do you not speak German? I said, no, but I understood everything that you talked about. Now, the problem with that was that he went into projecting at me that couldn't be a possibility, and then I bought his projection as real. So when all of these crazy, weird knowings show up, because how many lifetimes have you been Spanish? Oh my God, trillions, yeah? There's nothing that you have never been or done before. So you can tap into that energy. But if somebody projects it at you that you can't possibly know that, and you buy it as real, you've just validated their mediocrity and cut off your knowing. So anywhere where you've done that across any lifetime, any space, any reality, any dimension, anywhere where you've contributed to that by saying that to someone, and anywhere where you've bought it from someone, would you now be willing to destroy and create it all? Good and bad, right, wrong, pop, pop, no, short, word, yes. So Jewel, yes, when you catch yourself doing that, turn at 180 degrees and step back into your knowing, okay? Because it only becomes a problem if you don't do anything with your awareness in that 10 seconds. If you become aware that you've just stuck yourself, turn it 180 degrees and step back into your awareness. This is the fun and the joy that we can have with these tools. It doesn't matter if you step out of your awareness or your knowing, as soon as you know that, as soon as you become aware of it, acknowledge it, and you step back into it, and you also exponentialize your knowing, because every time that you acknowledge it, every time that you acknowledge that you're an infinite being and that you know, then you exponentialize that. Exponentialize it means that you double it every time. So you have knowing on the first day, on the second day, you have knowing plus knowing. Okay, on the third day, you have knowing plus knowing plus knowing plus knowing. You have it 4 times. On the 4th day, you have it 8 times as much. On the 5th day, you have it 16 times as much. So you're always exponentializing your knowing. And this is how the quantum entanglements work in your reality. The more you acknowledge you as an infinite being, the more, it doesn't just double, it exponentializes every time that you acknowledge it. And so it's the fast track. Every time that you disavow yourself, every time that you step out of that knowing, you destroy everything that you know. And then you go back to the beginning. And that's why a lot of us often experience this, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, is because we keep going back into this reality's point of view that we cannot know. Keep going, never give up, never give in, never quit. And if you have that as your basis for your creation of your reality, it means that you will exponentialize your knowing. Cool. Hope that's of help. I'm going to go now and play with that tool. Hope you guys play with that tool too. If not, that's totally cool too. It's up to you. And I'll send this out to everybody that wasn't able to make the call. Next week, it will probably be a different day because I'm traveling on Thursday, so maybe Friday. Catch you later, guys. Thanks for...
Thank you so much.
Huh? Thanks for showing up and being you, and we'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.